Hello, so the big update is finally here, and I have to say I'm a little disappointed and a little enthusiastic about playing the game from zero. And before we start, I just want to mention a couple of things. The developers are living in a country that has a few problems. If you search the country, you'll understand what problems they have. And sadly, there was a Kickstarter project for this game. And if you look at the Kickstarter page, you'll see that the game is way behind its accepted deadlines and its features and its mechanics and its scope and so on. So what you're playing right now, even though it's close to 1.0 release, is probably about 25% of what the game was supposed to be, and the developers are just basically modifying the systems over and over again instead of, just moving forward to the game. And this is the biggest problem. They also say they hired more people, but I don't know, it's a weird project just because the developers had all the time in the world, all of the money they could have needed, but they still didn't do much with the game itself. It's like a Valheim. It's like the original Valheim project, because no matter how many people buy the game, no matter how much money they have, they don't seem to have a grip on things. And I'm telling you this because after playing the game for more than 250 hours, from the very first version that was playable to the public to this one over here, I'm disappointed because this is a game that you end up playing once every 6 months from zero. You'll say it's better than the last time you tried it, but it still doesn't go anywhere. As opposed to other games like Quasimorph, let's say, which is a similar game, but they're actually moving very, very fast and very, very much forward with the game. This game seems like it's moving back and forth. So let's read the patch notes and you'll understand what I'm saying. Anyway, the idea is that you should not invest more than 50 hours into the game if you like it, because, well, you'll notice that the classes and the builds are not that different, and besides, they just need to add all of the content and then the game will make a lot more sense. And you will see why once we go over the patch notes. Again, this is 250 hours or more speaking from experience, so that's why I'll comment the patch notes in a different way than most influencers will do these days. So the main features. The caravan, it's a fully functional caravan system that allows you for fast travel over large distances using a special resource, fodder. It's basically food for the horses, which you can buy until going to the caravan storage. 24 upgrades that will introduce additional utility to your campaign and improve the caravan's overall efficiency. Caravan followers recruit up to 3 non-combat companions with which their unique specialization, perks, events and dialogues. This is basically taking a lot of inspiration from Battle Brothers. This is amazing because the map was originally supposed to be huge, with a lot of settlements, with a lot of quests, with a lot of activities, which means this is what the game should have been from the beginning. Exploring a huge unknown world, taking contracts and finally having, a little bit of a story, and then kind of deciding who to help, who not to help. And this is what we have. It's basically 30% done in my opinion, even though it's 0.9 version. Overhaul dungeons. And this is one of the problems of the game. They keep messing over and over with the same thing. They have overhauled the dungeons about 5 or 6 times. So they keep telling us they have changed the dungeons and the way they're generated, but I don't believe it. They're just adding a few code lines and see if it works. Most of the development can be described as trying something and seeing if it sticks. Sometimes it sticks, but then they figure out it's not that good and they have to rework it again. The dungeon generator was reworked from scratch again for the 10th time maybe, and I'm not even joking because I remember a lot of... I think we had 4 major dungeon overhauls. The dungeon generators were modified at least 4 times in a major way, and a lot of other small modifications were happening as well. Small rooms and corridors have been replaced with massive halls, the visual and structure properly reflecting each dungeon's type and tier. Reward contract. A wider variety of contract types and objectives, new dialogue for additional information, and haggling. You can haggle now. Contracts can also be turned into different NPCs for a higher monetary reward or additional local or brain reputation. Which is exactly what I've been saying. They had more factions planned, which had more settlements and so on. So I think this will be one of the more interesting aspects of the game, how the contract works. But this is, again, a big step forward. Dungeon conditions. Unique conditions that introduce new challenges to dungeon exploration and increase the reward for completing the contracts tied to them. Dungeon rework is not so important, but this is important because this is a step forward. Dungeon conditions. Enhanced economy, dynamic and responsive supply and demand, commodity trading, as well as flexible trader stocks and preferences. They have also done this 4 or 5 times at least already, where they enhanced the economy, but this just means one thing. They diluted the loot pool, or the they have diluted items you can buy to the point where you need a lot of reputation so you can buy better items. It was so bad in one of the patches, I don't remember exactly which one, but I had so much money but I couldn't buy anything because I needed to do a lot more quests to increase my reputation with the city, which was kind of hilarious. So I guess now it's more interesting, but you don't really have a trading mechanic because you don't have the other factions. Once you have the other factions, trading will probably become more important, and you can even do trading, like in Battle Brothers. Dembry, the fourth and final settlement of the Grand Magistrate. Oh, you might be wondering, why am I in prison? Well, because this is how it feels sometimes to play the game, being in prison, because you have no room to maneuver. I stole a violin or whatever, and they put me in prison. Situation, 9 unique settlement situations, providing additional opportunities or offering new challenges. Like in Battle Brothers, like the settlements having, you know, those status effects like siege, disappearing villagers, drought festival, or Inquisition festival, stuff like that. Revised global map generation algorithm, and the placement of locations to ensure a smoother progression. This was really needed. Added contracts to the Rotten Willow Tavern. But this is just a normal expansion of the map. It's not really something they wanted to do, but this is, again, changing the global map generation for the 100th time with, you know, just adding more stuff to different locations and just putting the stuff that was already there in different locations. Cooking system. 40 unique recipes, each offering various advantages along with the possibility of adding spices to further customize this effect. This is great. This is a new mechanic that pushes the game forward because now you have some, I assume there'll be just buffs and you can enhance their effect with spices, which will allow you to become much stronger. You think of the Witcher that is drinking potions and stuff. I'm actually excited about this system because you got so many ingredients from so many locations and you didn't really have something to do with them. Just eat them like you would eat anything else. So in the end, I remember I ended up eating pretzels and steak. That's all I ate. The game. Sounds lovely though. Crafting system. 15 schematics for creating useful consumables in the field. This is great, but this is again what I keep saying. They're just rolling around the content because you had a lot of consumables in the game since a long time actually. All of the consumables in the game were not used by people because they costed a lot of money and they were very situational to the point where it was not worth using. But now that you can craft the schematics and you can buy ingredients or find ingredients, it will make more sense and probably will be using them more. But this is not new. This is just using the consumables that have been in the game. Your progression. And this is what actually has me a little bit worried about the game. All equipment, enemies and dungeons have been rebalanced to challenge even high-level characters. What does this mean? They have reworked the loot system, the spawn system, the reputation perks, the noise system, which we had the sneaking system in the game and then they removed it and now they're actually introducing it back slowly. AI states system. And this is again just reworking or putting things a little bit differently together for the 10th time or even more. This time they got it right, but usually when they do something like this is to dilute the content, because in the first versions of the game you got from basically wearing cloth armor to plate armor in 5 hours, let's say. And then when updates came you went from cloth armor to plate armor in 10 hours, then 15 hours, then 20 hours. I think currently you go from cloth armor to plate armor in more than 20 hours or even 30 or 40 hours, depends on some mechanics. But this is why I don't really like the systems, because if you have the money you should be allowed to buy more and better stuff. Or at least have a way to introduce new items into the game without being, I don't know, boring. Quality of life improvements, 5 new bags, each with its own distinct purpose. I guess I like that. I like Escape from Tarkov, so I cannot complain if you're using bags or backpacks. 7 new undead mini-bosses. And this is one of the problems with the game. They added so many stuff, so many undead enemies and cult enemies and stuff like that, but it didn't really bother in giving them an identity or making them interesting or fun to fight. So this is again just rolling over the same content and just replacing and trying new things and just, I don't know, experimenting with reworking the enemies a lot of times. New items, 35 new pieces of equipment, that's great, but I hope the equipment pieces have a better, let's see, they're more distinct and they have their own uses and maybe some kind of, I don't know, some kind of a situation where you need to use them, or at least in quests, because if you have an armor that gives you, let's say, 6 armor and whatever status it has, you're always going to prefer it over all of the rest of the items. So it's a straight up upgrade, and that basically invalidates 50% of the armors. I don't know how they can fix this, because you only have one character and he only needs one set of armor. So once you get that set of armor, you can basically ignore the other sets of the armor until that point, which was a big problem. This is just kind of to highlight some things. 15 new valuables and 10 new ingredients. Balance changes. A complete rework of equipment, abilities, and enemy stats. Again, this is just diluting the content, so you have a weaker progression, but you have more stuff to unlock. It's more or less the same thing, but you spend more time doing it. Anyway, some achievements and some other stuff, other changes. Now, this is very important. I think a lot of people miss this. So let's read the other changes. Dungeons are now generated upon entry. If your character dies and re-enters them, it will produce a new layout. Your character can die. I guess you'll just load the save file. You'll not really die. But they are kind of avoiding some of the exploits that people have been using, and you'll see once you get further into the list. Basically, they're making it in such a way where, I think if you reload the game, if you die and reload the game, it will be a different dungeon. You can no longer exploit, for example, if you know there's a dungeon with great loot, with tombs and treasure chests and stuff like that, they'll basically be rerolled, so you don't have a chance to get them again. If you die, the stuff you had is lost, and you will not get the same stuff back. Further stocks now use a seed system rather than being generated when a player accesses them for the first time after a reset. So this is how people, including me, were actually exploiting the system. So you go to bed, you go to the merchant has items you don't want. You reload the game, you go to the merchant, it had a different stock. So basically you would reload the game 10 times, 20 times to get the items you wanted from a merchant. Which just became harder and harder, because sometimes you needed to wait an entire day. Sometimes you're just walking around with 10 money bags. I'm not exaggerating. Sometimes I was walking around with 10 money bags and I had nothing to spend them on. So I had to go to bed, sleep, eat, buy food, buy whatever else I needed, drink the water, go to the merchant, sleep. And that became so boring that I just started to reload the game. Once you wake up, you go to the merchant, doesn't have the thing you want, you do it all over again. But now they have removed this system, which is good in a way but bad in another way, because if you want to buy something and you know there's a better item you can buy and you don't get it, well, that's that. But at least it eliminates the need for people to do that stupid stuff with the sleeping and the other stuff. But this just means you'll have to sleep a lot more and pass a lot more time, which actually it reduces your money by a lot, but at some point you'll just be doing that a lot anyway, so I don't know. I guess it's better that you don't have to cheese the system, but you'll still have to use the sleeping method over and over to get the items you need. It's a step in the right direction, but I hope they don't make items as restrictive as they did, or I hope they don't make merchants as restrictive as they were. Rework the system for resetting locations. This also affects any item drops in settlements, which will now be removed after a certain time. I guess that's a good change, but I guess some locations reset and you could loot them over again, but again, it depends on how they did this. It's a step in the right direction. The difficulty of the open world encounters no longer fully depend on the character level. Instead, they depend on the global map zone, and zones may become more dangerous over time, but only up to zone specific limits. This is also a good change, because the map was basically just a place where you just clicked over and over again, but now it seems like the game will become more challenging over time, and certain zones will actually become even more challenging than you expect. So that means you cannot visit the entire map with a mid-sized character anymore, in a way. So if you spend a lot of time sleeping to get better items, that means the world will get harder. That will be an extra challenge for your character. So again, they're just eliminating a lot of exploits because they're forcing you to use systems the right way, and the way they were supposed to work in the initial, probably in the initial testing and the initial vision of the developers for the game. Change the system for resetting and repopulating dungeons to be a more deterministic one. The regenerated dungeons no longer degrade to a lower tier. This is an interesting one because sometimes you would do a mission in a location that was very, very lucrative, and then you do 2 or 3 other missions in the same locations, but you get less loot than the first one you did it. Okay, let me explain it another way. Sometimes you would get so much loot from a single dungeon that you needed to do 2 or 3 other dungeons to get the same amount of loot. So basically, they wanted to be more linear, or they wanted to be more on the same page, on the same line of loot. So they don't want the loot to be so much randomized. I mean, if you go to a dungeon and if you get 1000 coins, the next time you go there, you will also get a certain amount that is close to this amount. So you not get 1000 and then you'll get 300. So this is a good step. It's a step in the right direction because it allows the dungeons to generate a progressing amount of loot, if that makes sense. All dungeons now use preset names. Okay, that's good. Added a tanner NPC to Stoneshard. If you remember, you would speak to the blacksmith apprentice to repair your clothes. A new stat, crit avoidance. I have seen it on some armor sets. It's actually a pretty good one, but I hope they don't exaggerate with it too much, meaning you will probably want to have armors that have this stat, but at the same time, I hope it's not one of those things where you have to choose what you want on your armor. I hope it's just something they added on certain armor sets to make it more balanced, and I hope that's the way it works, not to force you to choose something, but actually to balance some armor sets. Special elemental and magical effects no longer rely on RNG. Burning will be guaranteed. For example, burning will be guaranteed to trigger after dealing sufficient fire damage to the target, scaling non-linearly with the target's maximum health. I guess this was a change that was needed because magic was too random, but now it's actually, again, more linear towards a better progression. Enemies can use charge skills to preemptively close large distances. Oh, this will be an interesting one because there are a lot of characters that didn't use their charge until they were close to you. So this will mean you can no longer kite enemies and make fun of them and call them bad names. Animals will no longer skip their threat phase if they were previously fighting another target. And I guess this makes more or less sense. So now if they kill something, they'll chase after you immediately. I understand why they did this. Not such a big deal. Depends on how dangerous the open world is right now. Enchanted and magical items are sold at a slightly higher prices than regular ones because this was something they really needed to do. You had an item, you enchanted it, you didn't like the enchantment, you sold it, but the price was still very low and the price for an enchantment scroll is quite high. So this should have been in the game since the very first version of the game. Enchanted items should be have a higher price. The chance of receiving armor fragments via self-repair has been significantly increased, now scaling with the enemy's armor durability upon their death. This is actually a big mechanic of the game. I don't really understand why they choose to do it like this. I read about it and yeah, it's kind of interesting the way they did it, since self-repair is almost a mandatory skill now and it's in the armored combat skill tree. I like it. I guess they wanted to help the player more with repairing their armor because most of the money, basically 50% of your costs, will be repairing your armor, and instead of focusing on upgrades or other stuff. Now, balance. Skills can be unlocked. This is also very important. Skills can now be unlocked after reaching the minimal character level, reducing reliance on finding random treaties when building non-optimal stats. This is another problem. In the previous versions, you were kind of forced to build a character a certain way because you also needed the stats to unlock the higher tier skills. Basically, what this means is that if you have the level, it will be a little easier to build hybrid characters, and this is what I want to play, a hybrid character. I don't care about meta builds, I never cared about them. The game is pretty easy as it is, so why would you want to use meta builds anyway? But the level requirements must still significantly higher than corresponding attribute threshold. In other words, you need a higher level to obtain certain skills, and it's no longer dependent on certain skills, because for example I wanted more defensive stats, but that meant I couldn't have more skills. I hope this fixes it in a decent way, but then again it also forces you to take defensive skills because you don't have the character level to get the anime. We'll just have to see. This is very weirdly worded, so I hope it works better than it sounds. Counter attacks now strike twice when using dual weapons. Guess what? I'll be using a dual mace build. I like it so much. I don't know, I just like the idea. I think this will be fun. This was required because using dual weapons was more of a nerf compared to using a single weapon and a shield or something else. Change experience requirements for leveling with a rebalance of most experience sources. This is a good thing, but again, they're just playing with the numbers at this point, and I think they're just doing this to dilute the content so your character doesn't level up too fast like it was in the original versions. Anyway, existing bosses Archon, Ancient Troll, and Manticore have a new passive, Indomitable, which prevents the cooldowns of their ability from being affected by outside sources. I don't know, I guess some people cheese the bosses. Rebalance every piece of equipment, work with the new tier system. Again, you need a certain tier of the village to buy the item, which then... It's interesting concept, but I hope they actually managed to balance it properly. And then they rebalanced food, the herb, the ammunition, the medical consumables, the injuries, the impact on pain accumulation. Reduce the base coefficient of damage taken by enemy armor. The importance of armor penetration and armor damage stats. This is great because this was pretty useless compared to the other bonuses, so now I think this just means the maces are better, more or less. So anything that penetrates armor or damages armor is better. Reduce the base coefficient of damage taken by enemy armor. It sounds weird, but I think it increases the... Anyway, I think the enemies are just better protected if they have better armor. Something about regeneration fully halts during combat instead of pausing for 10 turns after taking damage. I never really thought of it as a problem. Yeah, sometimes you would regenerate some health during a fight, but that's not something major anyway. I guess it makes your character a little less tanky. So, yeah. Critical strikes no longer deal at least 1 damage even through blocks. Doesn't really matter. Increase the impact of active debuffs on the rest mode efficiency. So this was another problem. You could just rest out your injuries or your other debuffs, but I guess now it's a little trickier. So you'd fight, you'd rest, you'd fight, you'd rest. So I guess this means you'll either have to rest longer or fight with injuries. So it's a step in the right direction, but this will definitely change the way you're playing the game. Good. Rebalance the effect of drunkenness. Nah, you shouldn't fight while drunk anyway. Unless you're the drunken master. Reduce the impact of fatigue on max energy, but increase its gain from multiple sources. Which this basically means you need to sleep once in a while. Basically that. What it means. Remove the hidden accuracy and fumble chance bonus from attack skills. Hidden. If it was hidden, how do you know it was removed? I don't know. This is something they never really explained. Again, I know a lot of information and it's not shown to the player, but we'll just have to see how this works. Increase the impact of the character's action on enemies' will to fight. I guess if you fire a fireball at them and they're pretty injured, they'll run away. This just means that sometimes if you, for example, kill 2 of their friends in front of their friend, the enemy might run away. Depends on how you view things, I don't know. I guess they have nowhere to run in a dungeon, so depends on how it works. Probably in the open world it will have more of an impact. Change the grave digging mechanic. Digging up graves takes less time, but you take a toll on morale even before you finish digging them up. This is the weird thing, because grave digging was reworked about 10 times again. In the beginning, grave digging was amazing, then it was bad, then it was bland, then it was good again. You could find unique items in the open world by finding the... I don't know. I just hope they make it worthwhile. If I'm digging a grave and finding only a skeleton hand, then it's not worth it. Because sometimes I would spend basically 10 hours with my morale at 0. 20 at 0 as well. Sergeant Toolkit uses a non-linear formula for pain accumulation, improving its feasibility when treating light and moderate injuries. So the Sergeant Toolkit was bad because it gave too much pain, but now they have rebalanced that. What's coming next? New items, new contracts for bastions, bastion conditions, more or less of the same. Caves and rare plants. I like how that sounds. That smells like permanent upgrades to me when they say rare plants and caves. I guess that can be interesting. Follower events and some other stuff. Okay. That was a lot of reading. Thank you for the soup. Now I'm free to go after spending 3 days in the dungeon. So if you steal something, this is still a major issue because this has been a mechanic in the game for such a long time, but if you steal something, you get minus 1465 reputation and you might also fail a contract, so that's basically 1800 1,800 reputation lost, and then you gain reputation by serving jail time. This is still a mechanic that is not working as intended, stealing or some of the other ones. Let's create a character. I just wanted to go over all of that so people have a better understanding what the game is today in probably 2025 when you're looking at the video. I don't do hardcore mode. Hardcore mode is a stupid idea since you can die so easy in this game. This
So
happens
here I
after
am.
the prologue.
If I knew.
Now, I've always played with Jorgrim as well. I just like the idea of having a barbarian with dual wielding warfare and such. Guess he started with maces, dual wielding and warfare. I think I'll start with Velimer this time. Accuracy is actually a lot better than the Berserker Frenzy, just because of how the game works right now. So, I think the game will suffer from a lack of accuracy because of the way some systems work now, so I guess I'll play with him. He has two-handed maces, athletics and warfare. I guess I'll be missing maces, dual wielding. Huh. But it should be okay. Another interesting thing is that we'll actually debuff. We have accuracy and the enemy has more damage taken for 4 turns. Yeah, let's play with Velimer this time.
Is that so? So here we're it. Don't. You can.
You're basically recruiting a new mercenary, that's what's happening here. It doesn't give you a ring anymore with the mags. Crossbow over here. Oh, has an interesting helmet, unique medium gear. This is protecting his head. Bandage, and this is how the lockpick works. So they needed so much time to modify how the lockpicks work. But I guess the biggest change is that now it occupies 2 slots instead of 1, which is not really ideal if you ask me. I guess minus fumble chance is nice. Also, this guy starts with the Velmir ring, which has more accuracy chance and counter, which is nice. And let's not look at the stats. By the way, you cannot really steal anything because if you steal something, the gods will catch you at some point. So they basically removed stealing from the game, and you see what happens. I stole something that is worth 10 coins and then they made me pay 650 coins for it. So I said no and they said you go to prison. Okay. Really worth stealing. Bandit then. Tell me more. What's the reward? Oh, I guess you bargained. How much time I have? 3 days. A brute. This is interesting, so you get a lot more information. Now you can sell stuff to him. Okay, let's look at a bit at the reputation system, which is one of... Oh, by the way, we have Osbrook, Manshire, and Debris. Denbury, which is the new location. Cause... Benevolence. Search frontier. To get more reputation, and reputation is shared. Nice. Advance payment when receiving a contract. When receiving contract interest, favorable price. %% of other reputation. So I guess this is much better now since you gain reputation in more settlements by just completing contracts on one side. Negotiate access to equipment produced by the guild. Of higher quality, interesting. 1-man share. Okay. Interesting. So see, they are supposed to add two more factions, which have 4 locations on their own. So if they needed 5 years to add 4 locations to the game, let's not think too much about it. The developers will probably DLC the rest, even though it doesn't make sense. Oh, haggling reduces your reputation. Surprise Pikachu face. Then what's the point? Because the whole point is to... Okay, keep calm, don't be upset about this, it's just a mechanic, it cannot hurt me. Yeah, what's even the point? Because that was the main issue, you couldn't get reputation from other sources, so you had to... We're never haggling again. Have any work for me? Bison pelt and horns. Hunting novice hand wraps, enchanted light gloves. Oh, this is actually interesting. Miracle chance. I forgot what the miracle is. Already brought the brim hat. You can buy enchanted gear that is not actually expensive. Look at this, it's 29 for this hat, which is actually very good. Since it has a little bit of everything. Interesting. Getting your vegetables. You can teach me about maces. You work for me? I think you'll... Yeah. I have to find handmade swords and stuff like that. Crafting kit. Okay, so the crafting kit is not that expensive. What is this? A blacksmith? Max, okay. I'm tempted to buy this one. So armor penetration is 25%, body part damage accuracy is -3. The spear gives me accuracy. No, I think we'll just play like this. Let me show you what they meant by self-repair. So self-repair will probably become one of my most important skills because I don't want to drain all of my money on armor repairs. Also, if you equip armor with higher durability than 80, you get bleed resistance and crit avoidance. So yeah, as you can see, crit avoidance is a stat that is supposed to supplement your defensive stats. It's great. Survival, I don't think they changed much in survival. Have the butcher to make a halt. Oh, you get vigor if you sleep in a bedroll or a camp. It's more effective at restoring health, psyche, and fatigue. What do you mean, psyche? You also get a bonus to 10% max energy, fatigue resistance. Okay, that's good. Cauterized wound. Stops bleeding and you get bleed resistance and some pain. Interesting, I don't have time to look at all of this stuff, Magic Mastery. Let's look at the Magic Mastery a little bit because some people might want to see how they are. I like it, but I don't like magic in games like this. Maces, pulls. I have to go with maces, and is dual wielding better now? Let me see at what they have. Interesting, so this can stack. Delivers 2 dual strikes. What do you mean 2 dual strikes? That means you hit the enemy 4 times? I guess that's what it means. That sounds great. Get minus fumble chance if the weapons belong to the same type. Okay, I guess it's mace. Might be worth it. Collect. Try by strength, maybe efficiency. Interesting. I feel like the idea, but it's interesting. Okay, so if you have less health, that's actually a pretty good one. Yeah, I remember we had more stuff over here, but now they changed it. I guess it's for the better. What about warfare? What warfare do we want to use? Crit efficiency, crit chance. I like this war cry a lot. Setup. Nice, and you can stack that twice. I don't like. I don't think it's worth it for now. Opportune moment is here now. This is one of the major things we need to do. A way to restore energy. The initiative is also something I like. Oh, you attack with the... Okay, we need to take this. You attack with a more accurate hit on the least protected body part. So that means if they're not wearing a helmet, you bonk them on the head. You get more accuracy. Okay. Okay, this is actually very good. Athletics. Wait. Don't you have a... Oh, the dash is over here now. Interesting. The damage dealt depends on the equipped boots protection. Even better. Okay, they have changed a lot of things. They make more sense now. So, I guess now you have a lot more options for skills, more or less. Okay, let's speak with everyone in the village. Still have a lot of quests to get. I'll also do one of the quests. If you don't die. Why do you have the stealing system if you cannot steal anything? Again, these systems are just left without any good purpose. Can you work for me? A bear pelt. Yeah, that will be a while. I'm searching for good gloves. We don't have any good gloves over here. Well, I might as well buy them. They're pretty cheap and they offer some protection. Unique light piece. Oh. And so his starting armor is actually very, very good. A lot of physical resistance, plus counter, plus dodge chance. A rope belt. Well, it's something to fill up the slots. Okay, I'm just trying to fill up the slots. The boots are also pretty good. I think I'll go with the dodge chance. Okay. Can have that. Oh. Let me look at how expensive it is to repair some of the stuff. I also think the guy with the crossbows and bows had something to tell us. I'm here already. Open the hammer. Interesting, so you can buy a decent weapon. What about the club? Oh yeah, this is of course. I'm surprised by the carpenter hammer. It's actually a pretty good weapon. It doesn't have other stats, but I guess it can be. Yeah, I forgot to ask people about the rumors. So how does the new camping system work? Abilities? Interesting. But again, the game doesn't change that much if you have played it in the recent. I'm taking all of the quests, which is important. Now, let's buy some stuff we'll need for a little expedition. I guess the splints are okay. Bandages are a lot cheaper now. Okay, so they have really made a lot of good work. Also buy a schematic for rope. I have to buy that as well. More healing salve, of course. Also need something to reduce intoxication or pain. I guess we'll have to buy the herbal extract. Let's go and sell the bucket to someone who wants to buy the village bucket. I will not lie, it's great coming back to the game, but as you can see the game already looks outdated. Imagine the first time you played this game a few years back. It would have been amazing. Yeah, that's what I thought. That would be all my money. Okay, this character in terms of protection has a lot of stuff going for it. Protection is 3. Dodge chance is 12. I guess nothing will hit us too hard on the head. We also sell some of the buckets or the mugs. Oh, the food looks a lot better now. Bread. That's basically all of the money we have. Potatoes with mushrooms. That sounds delicious. I'm hungry. Got cabbage. That. Drumsticks. NA. What is NA? Are you joking me? They spend so much time on the update and you have NA over there, non-existent or list. Let's not think too much about that. If I press M, I see the map. Oh, now we start in the upper corner of the map. Why do you have to use middle mouse button to navigate? Okay, so they made the map a little smaller, granted then. It's still essentially the same thing. Oh, okay, a lot more locations over there. Drunken Wood Inn. Interesting, the map generation is a lot better. You already studied the map. Huh. Farewell. Hello cat. It needs an update as well. Well, this is technically my chest. Interesting. I visited all of the characters. I might be missing one character. Oh, we have so many quests to do in the beginning. It's great in a way. bad enough. Okay, let's go. And try to do the peasants as well. Okay, let's start. We're not going to do those too easily. Wait, what is my quest? Bandit then. Well, I guess... Okay, whatever. I guess the bandit name has its own name now. Okay, is that a new thing? Probably not. I'm so tired of jokes about this plant. I still have not found a way for you to basically travel on your own over there. Angry money can be transformed into fodder. Oh, so you can transform certain plants into fodder. That's an interesting mechanic. So now you have more reasons to pick up the plants. Delicious leek. Angry money reward and spearmint. So I just need to find spearmint. You still have to drag the mouse button. Where did that snake appear? That's embarrassing. Why are there snakes in the plains? Probably I'll have to read that off camera. I don't think they changed anything to the way that works. But why do they have snakes in the middle of the... I guess snakes were not really that used until this. Doesn't seem like the immunity helped that much. Yeah, let's just munch on berries on our way to the hill. I don't think we can sell that for money. Speak to the peasants. Oh, what is this? These are new characters. Oh, pretzels are here. So he represents Osbrook as well. Pack of grain. So yeah, this is the first implementation of the trade system, so you would need to sell the grain in another location, which will make more sense once you open up the caravan. But for now it doesn't make sense. You need flour. 8 stew pot of water meat. Interesting, so this is how you get some of the recipes. And the mill has guards now? Okay. I'm here. Amazing, but they still haven't fixed the old problem of you needing to pan the camera with your middle mouse button to go up here. I don't know. I guess they still have a lot of problems to solve. I don't think we need the old kite. Looks like it's very easy to survive in this game. The snake. So Fleaward is the only one I'm missing, right? Yeah, so you go from a life of eating berries and just traveling on the plains to getting bitten by a poisonous snake in the first tile. Get out of here. How did I get damaged so badly by the first bandit I came across? Okay, I'm bleeding. Let's use that bandage. Great! Now we have... let's eat more berries. When life is hard, eat berries. Heartbeat sound is not so bad. So where did they hit us? Well, at least we didn't get hit in the head. Oof, that was rough. How are you supposed to survive encounters like this? I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. I still got hit very hard. Dental, this is also new. Can be refined. A lot of new plants. Okay, this makes sense. I should probably use... Yeah, let's be 100% ready. Is it only you? So the berries no longer give you hunger, or they just give you too little hunger? I guess they don't stack if we eat a lot more of them. Not fighting them without being 100% HP. Help. I don't know, for whatever reason it seems like the combat is a lot more brutal now. Yeah, let's just go and fight them, because we're just wasting time at this point. I guess I can look at them, but they'll probably be very badly. Is it better if I change the weapons? I guess if I had a shield, this would have been great. The spear doesn't do a lot of damage, it has the range, but what does range matter in a situation like this? Okay, this is actually a lot more tense than I remember. I guess I should have used the crossbow. I keep forgetting to use it. Throw away all of the nonsense. Guess nails are worth picking up. Barely. What's in the chest? Tell me there is loot in the chest. Ancient coins. You have the crowns and the ancient coins. I guess you sell the ancient. Wait, where did the ancient coins go? I guess they got turned into money as well. Oh well. We survived. Let me see that threshold. So at 15 strength I get stuff. Let me tell you something. I will always take health in the beginning. Doesn't make much sense, but trust me, you'll love when you have a lot more health than the enemy can kill you. I guess that's still a big problem in the game because the enemy can kill you very fast, so you need more health. I guess it's kind of annoying that you have to take health in the beginning. Fog. Such a cool game. As you can see, I'm just taking it very, very slowly. The next episode... That's spearmint? I don't know, we already had spearmint. The next episode will definitely be a lot more active with combat and quests. And seeing as we almost died with the first band of bandits, I guess the bad side is that we already used some medicine. The rhubarb also is good food. This is my intoxication. I don't understand what the berries actually give you, because if I eat all of them, nothing changes because they... Is this broken? I think the game might have a few bugs at the current time. I might be able to replace my flail with red. Does this even give me food? That's a bandit with a dagger. I think the dagger bandits are still the most dangerous ones. That was a butter cleaver, exactly what I needed. The fight is so relaxing. I almost don't want to go down there. Will we survive our first adventure or not? That is the question. Really, we haven't even found mushrooms around the place. I don't think this is edible. Collect all of the random nonsense that is around the place, but... Posting lentil soup. Pot of water, we can fry eggs now, interesting. But I need the pot to do that. I think this will be a very bad adventure for us. But since the dungeons are supposed to be a little smaller... Okay, let's search for traps. I should have definitely bought a shield. That's a scary axe. Lumberjack axe are one of the things that they can kill you very fast. Oh yeah, you press R. What's the... Whatever, I'll just use this. Oh, you see a little... Okay. This is actually in a pretty good state. I might use this one. But it has a -2 accuracy. But mine also has a -2 accuracy. Days chance. Stagger chance. The dungeon does look a little better. Brought more food with me. Okay, this is getting dangerous. Yeah, the lockpicks, interesting. Why are they giving me the hardest enemies to fight in the beginning? I don't think we'll survive this. And to be honest, I don't see a lot of difference in the dungeon generation. That's silly. I picked up arrows instead of moving forward. He tried his best. Right, club, interesting. One has a daze and a stagger chance. I guess I can try and see how it is with the dual maces right now. Might end up missing a lot. Definitely the dungeon looks better, but it looks out of shape, out of... I don't know, it just looks weird. What is this stuff doing over here? What is this supposed to be hanging off on? Hunger actually has quite big penalties. Okay, let's kill him first and then we'll worry about the bleeding. Heroism. Ah, it doesn't step on the trap. Technically, you shouldn't follow me because you are quite far away. Ah, but now I cannot rest. I guess you need to bring back a lot of food with you, which is annoying. There's literally no food around me. Yeah, I don't think I like this version of the game, if we're completely honest. You need to spend so much resources on food now that is not even funny. Because the berries don't give you any food, the dungeons have a lot less food now apparently. Lentils. That's not good. I guess we'll have to go back to the city and get more food and then come back. 0.0, so it's not even worth picking up the raspberries anymore. It's such a minor bonus, I don't know. I guess that's the point of the caravan, to help you carry all of the stuff. That was actually pretty dangerous. Now out of medical supplies as well. Yeah, how are you supposed to even make progress in the dungeons now, since you get beat up so easily? Well, I guess my only hope is that this is a shorter dungeon. Okay, looks like we'll have to do the pouring. Oh, I hate this little dance so much. That's the boss. I cannot fight the boss. Fumble. I don't understand this way of doing things. Enemy? No, I'm not the enemy. Just lost. How do you put the reload? The bar. Can you put it on the bar? I don't understand why it does. It looks like they don't follow you upstairs anymore, because you could cheese them a little bit if you did it like this, but not anymore. No cheese allowed. That's what they said. Pain? How much pain? Oh, now here. I don't want to fight the boss, but I have to fight the boss. I cannot run away from the boss forever. Hey boss, where are you? Guess it was not in range. The crossbow seems to have less range than I remember. Finally a battle cleaver. How do we defeat the boss? I guess we just have to cheese the boss using the crossbow. I'll definitely step on that trap. But it seems like they made it easier to cheese the boss now. Because the game is a bad joke because of mechanics like that. $79 health. Okay, that actually did a lot of damage to the boss. Well, if I can cheese the system, why fight fair, right? Just standing here getting hungrier and hungrier. I can probably defeat the boss even now. Looks like it's something related to the light, maybe. Okay, so the boss regenerates 100%. I was not expecting that. Okay, I guess I just have to go and die. There's no way I'm going to do this. I don't have enough food. So they just made the game more annoying in my opinion. This is the biggest change I can see currently. They made the game a lot more annoying. Because food is so scarce in the beginning, so instead of spending your money on armor repairs, you'll spend it on food now. And why can I not attack the boss? Well, let's hope for the best. I'm dead. I'm not dead, surprisingly. Guess I was lucky the boss didn't really have a good weapon. Okay, I think I exploited some mechanics over here with the... Okay, let's not speak about it anymore. We defeated the first boss on our first attempt. And we had a... I guess we had a bit of luck. Kill all enemies. Kill all enemies. I mean, that's not so such a hard thing to do, but I'm out of money. Fodder. 300 fodder. Whatever that is, we'll just use NA. This looks a lot better. Probably the shield is better used right now. Counter, block. Fist shield. Doesn't really block anything, but I guess you use it for the counter chance. So the board shield is actually good now because it has much better block chance. Oh. You are giving me very expensive stuff. That's something you want to sell. I guess I can stay longer in here and see if I can kill everything. But the main issue is if we find more food or not. Oh, an onion. Delicious. I also have to heal the wound. Oh, the trap is over there. I couldn't see where it was and it had me scared. Game, what about food? Why did they do that? Yeah, I guess I can fight another enemy. I might starve if I'm not careful. Garlic. I'm not sure if this will actually add up over time or not. They should really explain these mechanics a little better. Yeah, let's just eat whatever we get our hands on. At least get a hit on the enemy, please. What's that? Perfect. Everything I wanted. The penny bun. Well, at least now you know even that you have cleared the entire dungeon. That's actually a bit better. I don't know. That might be... This might actually work in your favor. Wait, did I have to do both of those? Definitely don't haggle for the reward because that's a bad idea. It was a trap. Touch plate, delicious. I get hungry when I look at it. Seems to be in your favor actually, because now I know there are no enemies, so I can explore without fear. Explore to strength the barrels. And let's destroy a few more barrels. Yeah, we'll just strengthen the durability of our weapon. Bit of a shorter dungeon. I guess it's a little better the way it's made right now, but still I'm not impressed because the dungeon doesn't have more interactables, it's just a little bigger. Bigger in the sense that it has bigger rooms. And no, I cannot agree with some of these design changes. Let's go back, let's get the reward and then I'll end the video. And I also have to remember to... I can just save and exit. Now whatever you do, don't go back another way because you might encounter another enemy group or something. Try to go back the same way. Or at least as much as you can. Also looking for a flea ward, but I guess there's none here. I assume we can make rope, so we probably should make rope. It seems like you're eating the blueberries for now, for no benefit. Reward? Where have you been? go that way. Still pretty dangerous. I guess they have a lot of mechanics that are working perfectly now, but still so many things that should be a little better. Like, you should be able to right click and eat. Only says take. How about can I eat? Sorry about this episode being so long, but I guess it was because I was a little bit afraid to do the mission per se. I also had to get ready for the mission, and I also had to read the patch notes and some other stuff. Okay, so the free word is all over the roads. I wish they'll do something about the navigation being less annoying. I cannot stop finding the free word all over the place. Don't worry, we'll buy you a nice steak. Growing weaker. Oh, you're not. You're okay. Maybe it's been a while since I played, but I noticed the sound design is much better, or maybe they enhanced the sound some way. Also, does the money still spill all over the floor now? I guess it's better because they just give you a purse full of the money. Here, hold on to my nails. Reputation gain is 450. Not a lot. I guess you need to do about 10 missions before you max out. Huh. No, because I think that will just get you to the next rank. I don't... Oh, good. Heralding, no. I don't know, I guess it's not as bad as it once was. Oh, how I really wish you could select a location and just fast travel there. I guess that would make you finish your task. I guess that's an acceptable thing. We do get reputation, and that got us to benevolent, so that means we have common cause, wider selection, and advanced payments. Interesting. This is why completing the quest is so important. Yeah, I think I should end the video, but I'll just play a little longer so you can see what's bad. You can see what the trade is like, or I mean what the loot or the items would be on sale. Give you any extra items. Yeah, what shall we eat? Does this character... I think this NPC is different from what I remember. Oh, that's actually... that's more money than I thought. Pickled cabbage. Lady, I just want to get fed. Pot roast. Yeah, it seems like they nerfed all of the food, which I'm not really happy about. So let's say 5% is 10, so 40% will be 8, 40. The food is so much more expensive now, and especially because, I don't know, you just have to eat the simple food, nature resistant. Yeah, that salad is good. This is not worth 72. It's kind of an annoying mechanic, but what can we do about it? I guess I'll have to sell this as well. Hot roast. That's a good idea, and then we can sell this back. We still have to rent the room for one single day, otherwise it doesn't make sense. Okay. So sorry about this. As you can see, this will be a much slower pace gameplay in the beginning, and then it will pick up steam. I guess we don't need 2 of those. Something to get. I'll probably end up selling those. I didn't sleep, did I? No. Everyone else is sleeping, we have to sleep as well. Liquid is such a nice buff, especially because of the experience gain. I think the innkeeper has more food, has cheaper food. I guess they sell you the more expensive food during the night. Pancakes, delicious, but still expensive. I don't know what to say about this, it seems like you have to eat so much more now. Why is my morale so low? I mean, what happened? So that's completed. Wait, what do you mean remind Elder about your contract? Does this mean I have to just speak with the Elder about this? Okay, fine, let's speak with the Elder. Wait, what? Oh, you got to be joking. I mean, this is such a bad way to do it. Okay, let's look at the trading, and I'll have to do a lot of this stuff off camera. Why would you do that? Game, are you serious? Introduce your reputation because of the dialogue choice, and it put me from the next. This is so stupid that because of a dialogue. Why does the dialogue matter so much suddenly? Can I get extra reputation if I choose the right thing? I hope so. Heavy War Club, that would be. So I guess they have only junk for sale. As you can see, the blacksmith doesn't have any armor. The hand wraps are nice. A little too expensive, sadly. Let's look at the tailor, and then I'll end the video. Yeah, I'm a bit upset about that. It lowered my reputation to the point where it got one level lower. Ah, okay, this is what I wanted, the leather vamp braces, because they give you one swamp. Well, I guess they changed this as well. It doesn't seem as good as I remember it to be. Accuracy. Hit efficient. They probably rebalance this as well. And as for my armor, it's actually pretty bad armor because you only get one protection and you get hit in the chest a lot. So I'll probably end up buying the Magistrate Gambazon. That's probably what I'll do. Oh, that's not worth it. I guess I can also take the traveling one because it gives me more fatigue resistance. And as you can see, fatigue is a big problem in the game currently. Yeah, I'll do all of this stuff off camera. Bye bye.